Chapter number 12, Law of the Bench. Great teams have great depth, right? See it all the time in sports, right? The best teams, the teams that win the Super Bowl, that win the national championship, that win the World Series, they get people that get hurt through the year, star performers that end up not being on the team by the end of the year. Things happen, right? That happens in business too. Things happen. You don't foresee your top performer leaving, and all of a sudden you're left with a massive hole. But life happens to everybody, right? You don't know what's going to happen to people. All kinds of personal things can pop up. They can get a great job offer somewhere. All kinds of things can happen that you don't expect. So how do you guard against that? It's with depth, and great teams have a lot of that, right? So lack of having one of those benches is going to create a ton of pressure on you, ton of pressure on the leader. And the rest of the team is also going to feel that pressure because you're going to be constantly needing them to overperform. Your elite people, you're going to need them to be elite every single day. So that pressure is going to build and build and build. Now, having a bench, you're not dependent on one person to get 5 leads a day. Everybody getting one or two. And if that person pops off and gets five, it's a spectacular day, right? So having the bench alleviates that pressure cooker on absolutely everybody. Right now, as a company, as a department, we lack that bench on the top end. We just promoted a ton of really good people into territory manager positions, and we need more, right? But we don't have enough people who are overperforming, doing all the little things, keeping their branches moving and sustaining while they're doing that. And so that's causing us a problem and it's slowing down our growth a little bit. We need that layer, you guys, the canvas managers who want to be TMs, to level up a little bit. And that's causing us some stress as an organization. That's causing TM some stress. That's causing the districts, myself, some stress in trying to get our number to go higher and higher and higher, right? So I want to focus on the fact that you are going to burn out those top performers though, right? So if you constantly are relying on one person to overperform, that is pressure that that person shouldn't be having to feel. You as the leader should be taking that off them and building a bench for yourselves. Um, you those top performers, they need to be able to have a bad month occasionally, right? Everybody does. Everybody has ebbs and flows in performance, and you don't want them to have a bad month, but it's probably going to happen. If you don't have a bench, you can't afford that. So, a couple quick points that they hit on. I'm going to only touch on a few of them from the chapter, right? But you need to really hammer these home and understand these concepts. So, number one is today's bench could be tomorrow's stars. This is why we built the CLC program, right? This has got allowed me to see that, hey, Cooper's going to be able to hit the ground running as a territory manager. Jacob, Tyler, these guys, I had a lot of good insight and we developed them. We had touch points with them to get them ready for this point. You develop that bench to eventually become the superstar, the starter for you. The success of the supporting player can multiply the success of a starter. Think about it. If you have a super competitive team where everybody's producing, do you think that elite person, the old dog, is going to get comfortable? No, it's going to continue to push them to perform at an extremely high level. Number three, it's going to give the leader more options. I love to know where my chess pieces can move. I don't want pawns that can only move forward. I want queens that can go all over the board, right? So I like to talk to people. Where do you want to move to? What positions would you like to see? What do you like? What do you not like about your job? This is giving them some growth mindset, right? And they know that I'm trying to grow them. But for me as the leader, I now know the flexibility that I have in my decision making. So when I ask who wants to move, who wants to relocate, and somebody says, I'll go anywhere in the United States, that person immediately jumps up to the top of my list on people who I value because the flexibility of that chess piece, right? So I'm constantly knowing where I can move my different pieces so that when things happen, when shit hits the fan, when I need to replace somebody, when somebody quits, I know the moves that I can make. And number four, I just referred to it. This is usually called upon in the most critical of times. You don't need your bench when things are going great, right? No, you need it when the star player gets injured. You need it when somebody quits or leaves or has a personal thing where they're distracted and the performance starts to drop. That's when the bench is most important. So if you're in the good times, develop extra hard, but you need to always be in all three of these phases actually at different in your van. Who is joining, who is training, and who is leaving. You need to start to classify your people in those three categories. Develop that middle part, the superstars, the bench. You need as many as you can have. If you have three people in your van, trust me, it's not enough. If you had more, you'd be able to run two vans, three vans, four vans. The more people you have, the higher your ceiling, the more doors it opens for you, the more opportunities it opens for you. The more districts I have that are hammering it, the more things that I can go do, the more responsibilities I can take on, the more money I can go make for the company and myself. The more people you have, the bigger the bench, the bigger the opportunity is for you. So no matter how many people you think you have, you need more. Thanks.